Hey there everyone, welcome to my March garden tour. So today I'm just going to take you for a quick walk through the garden because it is a little bit misty here. So we'll make it a quick one today. Let's get started. So as you can see, our bay tree is doing very well, lots of new growth on there. We have a random pumpkin vine that started there and you can see it's literally taking over the garden. Strawberries are doing well. And our blueberry and raspberry plants still kicking along. The hot weather has made the raspberry suffer some, but it keeps coming back healthy, so I think it comes down to just being overcrowded in the pot. So here you can see this single pumpkin vine. Now I think it's a butternut squash based on the fruit that are setting. But as you can see, a single vine can overtake a huge amount of space. So if you're planting pumpkins, do be careful where you place them. This one I think must just be in the perfect place because it has gone absolutely insane. These are some tomatoes that Scarlett started from my prunings. And our corn over the back is doing really well. Still not quite ready to harvest. But I'll see if I can get in for a shot of our corn cobs. So you can see they're coming along quite nicely. The silks are drying out slowly but surely. So hopefully we'll get a few nice cobs off all of that. My passion fruit vine that I bought from Bunnings, nothing special. It's put on a huge amount of growth. And you can also see in the bottom of the bed here, a few potatoes have popped up. Now this was one of our potato beds last year. So I think we must have left a few in there that have gone into seed potatoes and started putting off plants. So we'll still harvest a few potatoes from there. The question is whether or not the passion fruit vine survives it. These tomatoes were also started by Scarlett with my prunings. So you can see we've got 2 full beds of tomatoes. These are a large fruit variety. So they're all big slicer tomatoes in here. And I think there's one Roma tomato plant in there as well. I've also gotten myself a curry leaf tree, which I'm going to put into a pot. I've got some sweet potato vines here. So I've got both the orange and the purple variety and a coriander plant to add to my herb collection. Chookies are in there. I think they're hiding out from me today. Okay. Now our tomatoes are not looking fantastic, but this is due to the fact that they're coming to the end of the season. So as the plants are finishing and I have no more fruit left, I've been removing the plants and I'm just picking the fruit as it ripens. So as you can see up here, we've got some fruit that's just started to turn yellow. So this will be picked today before the birds get it. So there's lots of fruit still on here. This is my cherry tomato trellis. And below we still have plenty of basil and a few lettuce plants that I've allowed to go to seed. So you might remember that this bed was completely full of lettuces all along here. So I've pulled all of those because they went to seed. I did let a couple go so that we could harvest some extra seed, but that's all that's left of those. In the bottom of this bed we did have rocket and spinach, so I will replant those in different areas now that the weather has started to change, and I've collected a heap of seed for that as well. You can see the 2 capsicums never really did much. There's one little fruit on there, but that's the only one the whole season. Whereas our cayenne peppers have gone absolutely insane, as did our jalapenos. Lots and lots of fruit on the jalapenos. So you can see down the center here, this is what I'm calling lettuce lane. On this side I have planted some seedlings from Bunnings of lettuces, and on the other side some lettuces that I started from seed. So we're just letting them get a little bit more established before we take the netting off. Okay, so as you can see here, the zinnias have gone absolutely mental. We still have plenty of flowers that are drying out. So the seeds themselves are actually in the bottom of the flower near the base here. I'll see if I can, maybe this one here. So if you pull the leaves or the petals from below, you'll see these arrow-shaped heads. They're actually the seed for the zinnias. So I've harvested a heap of these already. But you can just grab the spent heads, crush them back into the garden if you want to continue them growing in the same space. Our beans have gone pretty mental. So you can see at the bottom of the arch there, we've got lots of foliage, and that is going up and up and up. Now we have 3 varieties of beans on this trellis, or on this arch. We have Scarlet Runners, which have a red flower and a green bean. I have Yellow Wax, which is a yellowy coloured flower and yellow beans, and Purple King, which have these beautiful purple fruit or beans after purple flowers. So it's getting nice and lush here, and it's all the way up and over. You can see some of the purple flowers just there. So they are really pretty. They're continuing to grow. The Purple King do turn green once they're cooked, just for those who are interested. Our squash bed has gone so mental, I had to do some serious pruning. So you can see this is where the plant itself is rooted, but I've had to chop off a huge amount of foliage and offshoots and put it back into the garden bed. So this whole bed, whoops, got a really good pruning. That can affect your plants detrimentally under certain circumstances, but these ones seem to have done fine with it. I've also got my Golden Nuggets pumpkins here, so you can see they are still putting on fruit. They only get a little bit larger than that, and then they get quite orange. This is a bush variety, however it has sprawled. So it starts here in under these flowers, and it has taken over and crept its way across that bed and down around the corner there. Now you'll see we've got a dead plant on this trellis. They were our apple cucumbers. They got powdery mildew, so I decided to sacrifice the plant. I ripped it out of the ground so that it would die off, make it easier to remove. I just haven't quite gotten around to removing it yet. Then we have our silver beet. We definitely need to start harvesting and eating this. It's really beautiful, so a really nice addition to any meal. And then through here, this is all pumpkins that I actually planted. Now there are 4 vines here. They're all in these beds. There's 2 here and 2 in the back bed. In the back bed are spaghetti squash, and the ones in this bed are butternut pumpkins. I had also planted some Jap pumpkins in the front bed here. However, they had tiny little leaves, never put on any fruit, and were taking up space, so I've pulled them out so I can use this space for other items. So as you can see, in amongst here, we've got plenty of fruit. I did a count the other day, and I think I've got 8 or 9 pumpkins between these 2 vines here. And on our random pumpkin, there's another 8 or 9 fruit. The back 2 vines, which are the spaghetti squash, have these very round fruits. If I can get the camera to them. Like this. Quite watermelon-y. I suppose that makes sense because they are in the same family. But they are in the same family as watermelons, as are pumpkins and cucumbers in general. So it does make sense that they have a similar sort of shape. The spaghetti squash is an interesting one. I haven't actually grown them before, but you're supposed to be able to cook them and use a fork to scratch through the flesh, and it should come out quite like a spaghetti sort of texture in those strands. So I will be experimenting with that if I have enough fruit. I think I've got 3, maybe 4 fruit in all of here from the spaghetti squash, so I don't know how successful the planting has been. I might get a few more, who knows, but we'll see how they go. All right, guys, well, I'll leave you with this beautiful shot of a couple of sunflowers here, and hopefully you enjoyed this month's tour. All right, I'll catch you next time. Bye.